It's Friday, and we come to you live each week talking about ways for you to have happier clients, better results, making more money, and enjoying the ride. Today, we're going to talk about no communication is actually communication. What the hell does that mean? Why do you need to know it? And what should you do about it? Stay with us. Hi, folks. I'm Sean Crabtree.
And I'm Cameron Bailey.
We don't want to change the way you do business.
We want to change the way you're thinking about your business.
We want you to have better results, happier clients, and make more money.
Let's get it started.
Welcome back in. As you can see, Cameron and I actually have special privileged VIP passes inside.
This is my closet.
This
is how I roll.
This is inside Fort Knox.
Fort Knox.
So you see all of the gold bars that are around us, and we have none.
Green for the money and gold for the honey, as they would say. Right? Green for the money, gold for the honey.
And what better place to talk to you about one of the biggest challenges that we see over and over and over and over and over again. By the way, we just did a video the other day, and Mr. Producer, could you maybe put a link to that, where we're talking specifically about something called sanctioned incompetence, which is a little bit like what we're going to talk about today, but I want to bring my business partner in here to talk about this conversation about no communication being actual communication. Again, what does that mean? Why should you care? What to do about it? That's what we're going to talk about. Here's why you should care.
Here's why you should care.
Throw this on.
Here's why you should care. Here's the thing, man. If we're trying to have happier results, happier clients. I mean, better results, happier clients, and we're trying to make more money, right?
And
we're trying to have more fun.
The ride. You know the tagline.
I know the tagline. We're trying to have results. We're trying to get solutions. We're trying to get to where it is that we want to go.
This is true.
The title of this is Communication. No communication is communication.
In other words, if you're not communicating about something, that in itself is communication. But let's give them a stat. I threw this stat out the other day because I think it's really important. This statistic comes from Deloitte, okay?
Deloitte.
They did a survey on ethics and the workplace, and here's what they found. 48% of employees. Now, by the way, I should throw this out again, too, because Mr. Producer looked this up the other day. Did you know?
No, I didn't.
Well, let me tell you. Did you know that with the Trump economy, for the first time since 1969, we have more jobs in the United States of America than we do people looking for jobs. For the first time.
Actually, I did know that.
Since 1969.
I did know that.
Now, this is why you should care, because there's one statistic.
Some people would be saying, Sean, the economy is good. What is the problem?
Exactly.
We should be making the gold bricks.
Well, that's my whole point.
Everything's good. The money should be rolling and flowing.
And that's why I'm trying to throw this out. We're talking about communication. No communication is communication. And I'm getting ready to throw two stats at you. One of these is, not since 1969 have we been in a situation where there are less people looking for jobs than there are jobs out there. Which means if you've got great people, you want to make sure that they're not some of the people who are looking for jobs, because there are plenty of jobs out there. And according to Deloitte, in this survey, Ethics in the Workplace, 48% of employees who are looking for another job plan to leave their current job because of one thing: lack of trust in their leadership. 48% of the employees who are looking to leave their current job want to do so because of lack of trust in their leadership.
That's a big conversation, though.
I.e.
a lack of trust in the leadership.
I.e. no communication is communication.
Exactly.
If you're not communicating, then the message that you are communicating is whatever the people on your team want to make up, is the bottom line. If, they don't know what's going on in the business, they have no idea what is happening, they don't know where we are, so they're going to make up what they think that means times 10 usually.
Yeah, I see it all the time when open communication is not in place in your business, then the people in the business have no idea really what's working and what's not. So therefore, they may see a number like, "Oh, we collected $100,000 this month.
Mm-hmm.
We're rich.
Exactly.
We're rich.
What's the problem?
You collected 100 G's, man. You're rich. They don't understand that it costs money to run the business,
and they don't know how
bill,
much
overhead. They don't understand you got $20,000 going out the door to pay salaries.
They don't understand that you haven't been paid yourself.
Right.
They don't understand any of those things.
But if you have a lack of communication or no communication, then what are you communicating in that situation is everything's it's all good. We're paid. It's good.
And depending on the situation, you're communicating that the people around you are important. I mean, here's the bottom line. You're in a service business, and in a service business, the people on your team are your single largest asset. Why is it important that we're even having this conversation? Think about those two stats. Not since 1969 have we been in a situation where there are more jobs than there are people looking for jobs. And 48% of people surveyed who said that they are currently leaving their position say that they're doing that because a complete lack of trust in the leadership. Here's one more stat. 46% of the 48% say that a lack of transparent communication from leadership is the main point of dissatisfaction.
What does that mean?
A lack of transparent communication from the leadership, meaning nobody has any idea where it is that we're trying to go, where it is we are in the process of getting there, what's working, what's not. They got none of that. And so we're not a team. And all of that breeds distrust among the team. It's what Stephen Covey calls a low trust culture. If you have a low trust culture, by definition, you don't have people who are bonded together by any sort of overall vision. There's no communication to keep everybody bonded together. And so we don't have a team at all. We have a bunch of people who punch in the clock and spend time together under the same roof so many days a week. And that's not a team, and that's not going to have you successful. And you're not going to have
them gold bricks.
Right.
That green for the money.
You're not going to have that. So what do you do about it? Here's what you do about it. The first, there's a great CEO by the name of Jack Welch, and I know you know who Jack Welch is.
Jack Welch, yes. He and I are close.
Jack Welch was the CEO.
We're connected on LinkedIn.
Jack Welch used to be, are you really?
No, on LinkedIn how you can follow. I follow.
So it's not like he called.
He might have followed me back. I don't know.
So it's not. He's not gonna say like, "Hey Cam, what's up?"
I don't have his cell phone number.
Okay. So Jack Welch was one of the most famous
business
CEOs
leader
of all time.
Business leader.
He was the CEO of GE. Turned it around. They used to be a light bulb company, and he turned it into owning everything. NBC Studios, all sorts of things, and he dumped
airplane engines, everything.
He dumped the companies that weren't making any money for GE. Became very well known. One of the things Jack Welch used to say is your number one job as the leader is to set the vision, redefine consistently what that vision is, and relentlessly communicate it, because that vision is what binds the people together. Dave Ramsey calls it sharing the dream and telling the story. And that's your goal. As a leader, you've got to be the one who is touting the vision at all times, because that's the thing that keeps us together. You also have to be the one who is communicating where we are in the business, right? That doesn't mean you have to be the one sharing the numbers, but you do need to, if you've watched any of the things that we put out on any of our channels, then you need to have people in your business who have areas of responsibility and make sure that the numbers of where we are is being shared on a regular basis. You as a leader have to make sure that you're cultivating a culture of open, honest, transparent, and consistent, and I would add the word direct, communication on a regular basis. Because no communication is communication of some kind, I can promise you. Not communicating it is not the kind of communication that you want, because it's left open to interpretation. And like Cameron said, you've got all sorts of challenges there. Somebody at the front desk is looking at, gosh, we collected $100,000, but that's all they know.
Yeah.
And they're going, good grief. The doctor is rich because we're collecting $100,000 every month.
Yeah.
They got no idea what the overhead is. They don't know that we got an 85% total overhead or whatever.
92%. I saw a 92% overhead this week.
Holy smokes.
92%. You believe that?
It's not a business.
No.
It's a hobby.
No. Yeah, it's a hobby.
That is a hobby.
92%.
That's an expensive hobby.
92% profitability. I mean, overhead. So that's what? 8% profitability.
Good grief.
So think about it, guys. No communication is communicating something. And one thing, I just want to touch back. You talked about the economy being so good. The economy is great. And you know what the easiest thing to do when the economy is great? To put it on cruise control,
right,
and not talk about communication. Not talk about sharing your dream. Not talking about the vision. You're not talking about the direction or telling the story. You're just sitting back thinking, I can relax for a minute, right? I can chill. That's not what entrepreneurship is. That's not what being a business leader is. You don't ever get to chill. If you think you get to chill,
that's when you start shrinking.
That's when you start shrinking.
That's when you start shrinking.
So right now, if your economy is going good and your business is going good and you feel like, maybe I can take a breath, now's the time where you should say, it's going good.
Turn it up.
Turn it up. Turn up the heat.
Gas.
Hit the gas. Turn on get the gold, man. Now's the time.
Get the gold, man.
Now is the time. So
what are some things that you need to do to make sure that you don't fall into some of the statistics that we're talking about here, right? Here's what you need to do. First of all, realize that by avoiding communication, you are in fact communicating something. If we're talking about you have some incompetence on your team and you are not addressing that in front of your team, with your team, then you're communicating two things. Number one, that incompetence is welcomed. Give me more. Number two, the people on your team who are really giving it their heart and soul, you're communicating to them, that's not important.
Right.
Incompetence is okay, and that's not important. So you got to realize that avoiding communication is communicating the wrong thing that you want to do. The second thing that we would tell you to do is this. Put your vision close to your heart and communicate it at every opportunity. If you've watched our channels for long, you know that what we would suggest is that you at least have a weekly meeting, a morning meeting, and an afternoon meeting. Those are 3 opportunities for you as the leadership to make sure that we are You with me?
Yeah, I was reading that.
Those are 3 opportunities for you to... We got an audience here, man.
I was trying to read that. Trying to read the writing. You guys can't see the camera. You guys can't see this thing.
Look into the camera.
I can't read what you wrote.
Those are 3 opportunities for you to communicate. As Dave says, share the dream, tell the story. That vision is the binding principle that has us all together. It's also the first filter through which all decisions should be made. The people on your team are not stats. The people on your team are not assets in the hard sense of the word. They're people. And those people need to be communicated with. They need to communicate to each other. They are responsible for areas of your business and they're partners with you. And that's the way you got to look at it. So number 1, no communication is communication. The first thing you got to do is realize that not communicating or avoiding communication is sending the wrong message, right? Second thing you got to do is at least with your weekly meetings, morning meetings, afternoon meetings, successful businesses
gotta have meetings.
Have weekly meetings. They have morning meetings. They have afternoon meetings, right?
When do you talk about what's working and what's not? When do you talk about the opportunities? When do you talk about where you're trying to go? How are you going to share your dream and your vision if you don't have time to talk about it?
And unfortunately, what we find is businesses don't. Leadership doesn't, and that's why the stat.
You get caught working.
48% are leaving because they don't trust, because there's no transparent communication. They don't know what's going on. They don't know how they fit in the overall big picture. They don't know how what they do matters. They don't understand what's going on from department to department. It's just everybody working. And there's no way that you can be successful if work is the ultimate ideal. So 2 things. Number 1, realize that avoiding communication is not going to get you where you want to go. Second thing is, use those 3 meetings as an opportunity to share your dream. That's your vision. Communicate it. That's the tie that binds, and that's the first filter through which all decisions are made. Excuse me. Sorry. Number 3 thing is, realize if you're a little bit nervous about communicating, I mean, I understand that whatever service business you're in, we talk about that a lot on this channel. Yeah. You probably got into that business because you enjoyed the technical aspects or the clinical aspects of what it is that you do. But that's not a successful business.
I was talking to a great salesperson today, just today, this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Great salesperson that we work with directly. I mean, this guy is, by all accounts, a true sales professional.
He is a professional.
And you know what he told me? You know what he told me?
What he said?
Yeah. You know what he told me? He said, man, I am sitting in the middle of a fight or flight scenario. I'm sitting in the middle of comfort zone of communication. You know, he said, how do you get past that comfort zone situation, or whether you're in like a fight or flight scenario? You guys know, they're listening, you know what fight or flight is, right? You have a split second decision
to either hang in there
and engage,
and fight it, or run.
And that's communication.
I fight.
When the communication,
I always fight.
Yeah, right.
I fight.
When the communication,
so it's nothing for me to have to whoop somebody's butt.
Hope you got your old clothes on. We're gonna fight. You got to, Mr. Producer. You got to edit that. So back before I was so rudely interrupted. Everybody has a situation where you have a fight or flight scenario when it comes to communication.
Right.
When there's an opportunity to communicate, you have to make a decision that you are going to engage. And a lot of times it's uncomfortable. A lot of times it's not comfortable. It's new.
But you'll find that your self-confidence is created by those fight or flight situations. When you hang in there, there's self-confidence that comes from that.
Yes.
And like I said a moment ago, I understand that, communications, it may not be why you got into your business, but you have to understand that your business is a business and it requires communication. So the third thing that we would tell you to do, the first one was realize that avoiding communication is communicating the wrong thing. Second thing is use your 3 meetings to communicate where we are with the business, what your dream is, the vision, tell the story, all of those things in those 3 meetings, every single opportunity that you get. There's no limit. I mean, the more the merrier, right? And the third big thing is this. Realize that when you have that little challenge, that twinge, that anxiety about communicating, here's what you have to put into your mind.
Oh, I want to hear this.
Put this into your mind.
Mr. Producer, you writing this down? You want to write this down? This is going to be solid gold.
Yeah.
This is worth the price of admission right here.
That's why we're in Fort Knox.
Come on, man. Drop this. Drop it.
Here's what you got to do.
Drop it.
Over communicate. Put this in your mind. Put this in your mind. When I feel like I'm nervous to communicate, over communicate. Share everything. There's nothing bad that can come from over communicating. But I'm willing to bet you that if you're listening to this or you're watching this, you can think of a handful of times where when you did not communicate, put you, your business, your team, your family, something at risk, or at least, or in a mess. I mean, You've all got experiences of that.
It's not going to get any better.
It's not going to get any better. Over communicate. And I would say, as a backup to that third thing, now what I said was, when you feel the nervousness or the anxiety about communicating, commit to over communicate.
Let that emotion be the trigger.
Right.
Let that emotion be the trigger that you have to take action, that you have to do it. You have to, if I'm feeling anxiety, that means I got to take 2 steps forward.
Push through.
There's no way I can take 2 steps back on that. You got to push through it.
And here's the thing, in the back of your mind,
that creates new references.
It does create new references. And the foundation that you have to think about is, I have a business and my team is the most valuable asset that I have. And as a service business, for this business to be maximized, I have to have the people on my team be maximized, and they have to be a team. Therefore, I have got to make communication the number 1 priority. And if I make something else the priority, then that means I'm not communicating. If I'm not communicating, then I'm communicating the very opposite thing of what it is that I'm trying to do. And I can tell you, this is one of the biggest challenges that Cameron and I see forever. Cameron's younger than I am. I know that's hard to tell. I've been doing this for about 21 years. He's only been doing it for like about 19. Because we're close to the same age.
Yeah. You look like you've been getting Botox. Have you been getting Botox?
Dude, if I had getting...
Look at that.
I would look like I was 20 if I had Botox.
Yeah.
So no, there's no Botox.
Don't want to toot my own horn, but toot.
This is all natural. See. But the point is, no kidding. All kidding aside, this is one of the biggest challenges that we see. Businesses put an emphasis on things like productivity and work and task completion, all these things, but yet communicating the vision, communicating where we are, communicating the numbers, communicating where our challenges and our opportunities are. None of those things are ever done, so it's all about the task. This is the biggest opportunity that you have. The three things we talked about are, number one, you got to realize that avoiding communication is going to communicate the wrong thing. The second thing you got to realize is
avoiding communication is going to allow whatever the challenge is to continue to happen.
Those 3 meetings, morning meetings, afternoon meetings, weekly meetings, are your opportunity to share the dream, tell the story, communicate the vision, and communicate where are we trying to go, what's working, what's not, where's the opportunity, And the third thing is, when you feel the anxiety of communicating, push through and over communicate. And the backdrop to that is we got to create a culture of communication. We have to create a culture where communication is the number one most important thing. And that is what's going to have you be successful. And I can promise you, this communication is such a big deal. This can grow your practice 50%.
At least.
I'm telling you.
Communication can grow your business, double your business. And it's not from doing things different, guys. It's from being different. It's from communicating openly, honestly, directly, like Sean said. When you feel that burn or that fear in your chest, you got to drive through it. You got to make the conscious effort to say, you're not holding me back, fear. I'm moving forward, and I'm going to communicate because I owe it to not only my team, but I owe it to my vision, I owe it to my patients.
I owe it to my clients.
And I owe it to my clients, and I owe it to my bottom line.
When your team doesn't know what's going on, fear and anger set in. And when fear and anger set in, you don't have a team. You've got employees. And you are not going to be successful without business partners in your business. So follow those 3 things. I promise you, you will benefit from it. If you have questions, concerns, or challenges, please reach out to us. We're happy to help. You can find us at thecrabtreegroup.com. The other thing I would tell you is this. If there's a specific challenge that you would like us to address on this podcast or any of the other channels that we do, we would really enjoy doing that. Send us the specifics of your challenge to dentalprofits with an S, Profits, dentalprofits at thecrabtreegroup.com, and we'll address the specifics of your situation on air. That is why we do this every single week, coming to you live, talking about all kinds of ways for you to have happier clients, better results, make more money, enjoy the ride from Fort Knox, surrounded by gold.
Man, if you don't get motivated by this, come on, man. Come on. What was that show on ESPN? Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Guys, seriously, whatever you need, lean on us for support. We're here to support you. You're not out there alone. You're not on an island. There's people around that are here to support you to be the best that you can be, and that's what we want for you.
For Cameron Bailey, I'm Sean Crabtree. This has been Dental Profits Podcast. See you next time.